Hey guys, it's GM. This is a Govaho training video. I believe that I verified my account, so this one is going to be my first trial at one longer than 15 minutes, and you guys get to find out how long-winded I actually am. Sorry. But no, hopefully there's some pretty good training here. I'm going to kind of take you guys through the Govaho attack and then talk to you, since we're in the middle of a war with a lot of good bases for it, what kind of bases you want to use Govaho on. So we're going to start with an attack, and I'm going to pray that I'm hitting the right one here. I think this is the one I wanted to play. No, it's not. Okay. It's this one. Okay, so Govaho attack. This is a raid, so obviously things aren't always perfect. But just wanted to point out why is a Govaho good against this base. Actually, in raids, Govahos are pretty much good against most Town Hall 9s. It's just kind of how it works. However, for this base, you see that you have 9 different sections. We have air defense section, kind of block of storages and defenses, air defense, block of storage. You know, it kind of goes around a circle, and then we have the middle block. So kind of a decent number of different sections, which is good because Govaho, you really want to be able to control where your Valkyries go, and you're kind of using their walls against them to do that. And you want all these sections to be about the size of a heel or less. That way, you know that your Valkyries aren't wandering away from the heels. Anyway, so let's run the attack. We're going to start with, obviously, I didn't lure. Should have lured. It was a raid. Give me a break. So we have my 2 golem front. Opened up a hole. I'm kind of clearing all the south out with my wizards. And okay. So I dropped my royals first. I can't remember what I was thinking, but generally you're going to want to drop the Valks first. Maybe it's because I wanted to clean up those troops, because troops can pull the Valkyries off course. But you're going to want to drop the Valkyries first because they actually end up tanking for your royals and help your royals survive the whole match. Also, I should have cleared these buildings right here, but I didn't. I risked my Valkyries running around the side, but I saw that nice close cannon and figured I'd be okay. So here comes all the Valkyries. Ready to a bomb. That's okay. They can survive that hit. Now you notice that the BK almost wandered off to the side. He went after the gold mine that he killed and came back. Yay him. You don't really want your royals wandering off the side. They kind of need to go center. So it's very important. I keep saying this, but it's very important. Wide funnel on the Govaho. You need your stuff to go to center for it to do its job. Okay, so here comes the jump. I could have opened up 3 sections with the jump. I didn't. I put it right here. I could have opened up these 3 sections. I could have opened up these 3 sections, but I didn't. I just opened center. You got to control the jump. It's kind of the opposite of most of your impulses with jumps. Normally, if you're jumping, you're trying to open up as much base as possible. Not here. You need to control where those Valkyries are going, because you need to keep them inside a heal radius, and you need to keep them together. So, you need to do all that because that's how they function best. When they all split up, they just kind of died all the point defenses. Anyway, so I did that, got them in towards center. It's all coming in. There's a Tesla farm here with lots of Teslas, which is fine. Govaho is pretty good for killing that. Got that second heal down. Maybe just I think it was right about the time I saw the Tesla farm was definitely a Tesla farm. I got it down. But they're going to kind of blend that whole center. Good job, girls. So I have the hoe part of the Govaho coming in. I'm dumping my hogs now. With the hoe part, you kind of have to pick one side or the other. I could have picked these defenses, but I was kind of looking at these. And I think I had I had a couple wizards alive down here. So I'm like, okay, I'll pick this side. And the point of the hoe part is to get all those side defenses. Your Valkyries are cleaning the middle of the base out, but they're going to have a hard time with these walls and getting to the sides. So the hoe part comes in to get those distracted side defenses out and kill them, which you're going to see it doing. Here comes all the hogs. I generally try to keep them together, unless I'm really worried about a double giant bomb, because they just work a lot better when they kind of stick together. I opened up the other side of the base to path the Valkyries through. Most of the Valkyries are dead by now. That's normal. They die. But they did their job. They cleaned the whole middle of the base out, cut the defenses in half, and now the hogs can kind of go spot to spot on cleanup and not have a whole lot of defenses to worry about. And here comes the giant bomb. See, that was a problem. Almost lost all the hogs right there because I can't heal them. And this cannon's going to start picking them off one at a time. But I do have an Archer Queen. Anyway, you'll notice that I don't have any cleanup. My cleanup is my Royals. It is, which I popped. It is the whatever wizards remain from the funnel. It's the hogs. So with a Govaho, and you'll see this in one of the war attacks, you don't have a cleanup force. So it's important that you put this stuff out in the right order so that the Valkyries tank for everything. Because if they don't, you may end up timing out after gutting the center of the base. So anyway, that's the attack. Good loot, yay me. And let's move into the war. So this is a really close war we're in the middle of. I'll do a separate war summary. But mostly I'm interested in talking about Govaho here. We're all kind of getting beat up. I got 3-starred, yay. Let's talk about the Govaho attacks, though. A lot of good bases for it. So I Govaho'd this base. Why is it a good Govaho base in a war? Well, you see, again, lots of sections. So we're gonna struggle with a go wipe or a go wee wee, because they'll grind into the center and pass out. Also, the expos are down, so you could have air attacked this base, but it's pretty spread out. The air defenses are not, they're not lined up evenly, and you might have the air defenses are going to have a while to pound on your troops as they move through the base. Also, they're kind of spread, and you may have a hard time getting your hounds to cover enough of the field to kind of protect the loons. So you could do it, but if you didn't have Valks, this would probably be like a Govaloon base or a Pentaloon base. Problem with Pentaloon is that you're going to have a hard time with the Archer Queen, so Govaloon probably. Anyway, also lots of double giant bombs, so you don't want to go hog this base. There's just too many defenses and spaces for double giant bombs, and you'll see here that they actually do have a couple double giant bombs. The only downside is the lure was very difficult in this base. I found one spot in the top that I'm going to try. I got lucky and got it. But anyway, it's a good Govaho base because lots of sections. It's going to be easy to steer those Valks. You notice that there's basically 5 core sections of this base. The one with the X-bow over here. This one right here with the Wizard Tower and air defense. This one with an air defense and the King, which actually ends up having a ton of Teslas in it, unfortunately. This one with the X-bow. And then our core kind of town hall area with lots of high hit point structures. And then you have a whole ton of small defensive sections. So the idea would be that the Valkyries want to kill the 5 main sections of the base, and you want the Hogs to do the rest. So let's see what happens. I'm going to speed it up a little bit through the lure. Sent in a Hog, got lucky. Blah, 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 poison. Oh, hey, really quick on the poison. There's a strong suspicion running around that poison damage is not cumulative, so if you drop 2 poisons, only one of them is going to be working at a time. So we have seen success with spreading the poisons out between drops on the big dragons, but if you just drop 2 poisons on a dragon, if it's a max dragon, it's not killing it. So, guys, I know it takes time, but if it's central for your raid to have that dragon dead, then you got to give it the extra 15 seconds for the first poison to work before you drop the second one. Okay, moving on. So it's dead. Here comes, I'm gonna come in on this section because I want to get all those defenses in this section dead. It gives me a spot for a nice wide funnel going all the way up there, going all the way down here. That wizard dies before you can get a lot done, but nice wide funnel. Now, okay, I did it right this time. The Valks are in first. The Royals will be coming in after. I want the Valks to start getting those tanking in. Remember, a Valkyrie level 4 has like almost twice the hit points of a level 17 Archer Queen. And we also have 2 golems going in. So we have all of our tanks heading in. You guys are about to see my first mistake. No point in healing yet because the tanks are actually taking all the damage still. Monitor your Valkyries. If everything's still high hit points except the golems, don't just jump the heal because they're taking fire. Chances are the golems are actually taking most of that fire, and they are. Okay, here comes the first mistake. Jump. Okay. Why was it a mistake? It was a mistake because I should have just opened up the path to the town hall, not this upper box. What I'm doing is I'm offering my Valkyries a chance to split and ruin my whole attack. What you'll see happen here is the Valkyries actually, I get lucky, there's a little bit of a hop in here, and then they all come back to where they're supposed to go. But what happened is, I get my heal down because now my tanks went the other way. You see both my golems, once all those stupid smoke clears, okay, it's not clearing. There's 2 golems there. my Valkyries are down here. I've just basically most of my tanks just wanted 60 points in my army, just wandered off course to die uselessly fighting these Teslas and Barb King and things like that. So, you know, if I had just opened up the one I was supposed to, those golems would still be in there helping my Valkyries take a lot of damage. This almost cost me the fight by itself. So, continuing on. Got the heal. Valkyries are killing stuff. Now, I need to be killing the core of the base, which means these 3 sections should be my next goals. So my plan in my head had been to drop the jump right here, right between these 3 buildings, and open up all 3 of those sections, because I can put a heal right where this... I didn't know the Tesla farm was there at the time, but I could, you know, the idea was I could put a heal on the Expo, and it's going to hit most of what's left of these defenses. So, that was the plan coming into the battle. And what do? Let's see. Killing all the stuff, taking out... Okay, I put my jump over here. So I made the mistake again. I opened up a side box that I had no business opening up. That was the Hog's job to fight that side box, not the Valkyries. You know, I was just kind of already panicking because my golems had gone the wrong way, and I didn't have my tanks, and I guess I just continued to compound the mistake by doing it. So don't do that, guys. Stick with your plan. Here they go. They split. That's 2 golems or 2 Valks into one box, 2 into the other. So my Hogs are coming in now on the back side as planned. They've killed the defense in this bottom box. They're going in on all these side defenses. I was supposed to put in a couple giants to tank for them. I think I do, but it's just a little later. Now you notice the problem though is that you can see like this archer tower here, and you'll see more of it in a second. The defenses, especially these ones higher up, are shooting at the exterior. They're shooting at the Hogs. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be shooting in at the center where the Valks are. Unfortunately, I didn't put my Valks into center, and they split up, and most of them died. And this heal's sitting there not doing a whole lot. So here comes the rest of the Hogs. All these defenses are shooting at the outside. I knew there was going to be some of it, which is why I brought a few giants to tank. But, you know, the Hogs are going to be taking a lot of fire. This Tesla farm was a big problem for me. I was pretty sure the raid was just going to end right there, the war attack. But luckily, the Archer Queen saved the day, and the Hogs lasted just long enough to get that done. Now, my Barbarian King has already decided that he's done, and he's just going to go pick on some buildings. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actual dangerous defenses sitting up there, and I was pretty sure I was not going to 3-star this base. Speeding things up a little bit, but my Archer Queen was a tank. She took that defense out. She came back around, took that one out, took that one out. She's going to die here. 2 of them left. I guess I'll just keep letting this play. Guys, with your Archer Queens, especially the newer 9s, you know, don't just pop that ability to move faster and get a few more archers out. If there are defenses left, save that ability. The main use of that ability is to pull the aggro off the queen and boost her damage against those defenses. But mostly it's to save her. It's to pull the aggro off the queen. So I did that. I waited even though I was worried about time. And by the way, this ends with like 5 seconds left or something like that. Barbarian King coming in. Pretty concerned because both the towers had aggroed onto him. But you got it done. Anyway, so that's a Govaho attack on a Govaho base during this war. I'm going to point out 1 or 2 more here. Looks like Joe just held. Awesome. That's huge right now. Their number 2 just lost an attack on Joe. This war is almost over. Okay, so let's talk about number 5. Karma. First Govaho in war, 99%. Guess what he missed? You see him at the sides. Builder huts. Guys, try to plan your attacks and look at the corners, and if there are builder huts, just bring 4 archers. Don't count on yourself remembering in the mid-fight. Bring 4 archers because that'll kind of remind you. Anyway, but no, Karma did a great job on this attack, especially for his first Govaho like ever in a war. And this base was fresh, hadn't been hit yet. So Karma was our first attacker on it. He tried to lure. He hit a trolling Tesla on the lure. and at that point he's kind of pausing to figure out what he's trying to do. So while he's figuring this out, let's talk about why this is a good Govaho base again. We have lots of sections. We have a core of the base. We have the center with the 2x bows. We have the Archer Queen section with some defenses. We have the Town Hall section. Lots of little sections. So Go White, Go Wee Wee are both going to stall out on those kind of bases. Again, I would probably go Lava Loon this base. In fact, that's what Jake is planning to do to try to clean this up. If I didn't have Velks, but we do, so that's what we're talking about. Lots of double giant bomb spots on this base, and indeed, again, there were a few double giant bombs. This opponent clan is actually really good. They know what they're doing. So he couldn't get the lure done, which means he had to deal with the Hound in the main of the combat, which is a pain because Hounds can really throw off the funnel. Now it didn't. You'll see his Valks are coming in toward the middle, and he did it right. He had the Valks coming in, he had the Royals coming in behind. As we begin to attack this base, now he's going to go ahead and get his jump down. He got it down, so let's stop here. He got the jump down while he still had the Town Hall up and this outer defense, the Dark Barrack up, which is fine. But the problem I had with the jump was that he opened up 3 different sections. He opened up this section with 2 defenses. He opened up this core section. He opened up the wizard section. The real risk he's running here is that his Valkyries are going to split. His tanks are going to split, and they're going to move outside of a single heal range. So let's see what happens. Kills it and split. So we have Valks going both directions. On top of that, we have the Hound popping over them. So you're going to see the Golems are coming down here toward this defense. Our Valkyries have moved up here toward these defenses, and our Royals have just decided to go for a walk outside. Well, at least their king has. So normally right now, this is about where I'm really worried that this raid's going to get anywhere. He has the heal down, but things are moving in and out of its radius. He had to spread it too wide. He's going to get lucky here. They're going to take out those defenses and move back on a target. So his Golems are coming back in. His Valkyries have moved back in. He has his second heal down, his second jump down. Again, jump, he opened up 1, 2, 3 sections. These are small sections. It ends up working out for him here. So, it sounds churlish for me to be sitting there saying it doesn't work when it obviously he guts the sections with it. But I'm telling you, as a general kind of way of working things, you definitely want less sections. You want to control the Valkyrie movements. So his Golems stayed in the middle though, which makes a huge difference. He's got his hoe coming in. He's cleaning out all the defenses on this top side. His Royals are on the top side. That's good. You generally want the Hogs to come in on the side that has other stuff because you want it to kind of all scoop together and move down to the bottom. So here we go. Giant bombs causing some damage. Skeletons coming in. Valkyries don't really care a whole lot about skeleton traps. They're like speed bumps. But you'll notice that his Valkyries are now in 3 separate sections. We have Valkyries here, Valkyries here, Valkyries here. So the point defenses are getting maximum damage on them, and they don't have enough support because they're not staying together. And you're going to watch them all sit there and die. The Valkyrie in the bottom one's gone. The Valkyrie in the middle one's gone. Now we just have the Valks at the top, and they're not getting very far. So that's why we try to control the jumps. Anyway, so Karma at this point probably figuring this raid's over. But again, we had a nodding. Oh, he had a wizard for that hut, but we have these 3 huts, and those really strong Royals not to be underestimated. He's going to do a lot of damage here. Coming around, and the Archer Queen's actually going to finish the last defense, but we are going to time out here because of the builder huts. So, good Govaho base, and really good raid on Karma's part. Just got to check the builder huts. But the other one I want to talk about was one that actually didn't end up going well, and let's talk about it. So this is their number 2. WoW. A new 10. He's got the camps and the wizards, but that's it. The rest of his stuff is an extra spell. The rest of his stuff is Town Hall 9 level. Still, was hoping that we could have pulled 3 out of this. Wow and I both hit this base for 2 stars. And we both kind of messed up for different reasons. So it's a really good one to highlight. Okay, so why is it a good Govaho base? Expos are up, lots of little sections, lots of spots for double giant bombs. We can toss Go Hog out the window. Expos up, and air defenses spread away from the wizard towers means that that a lava loon type attack is just going to die. So really well designed base, really tough base, and lots of strong walls. So we know Go Wiper, Go Wee Wee are going to struggle. So let's Govaho it, because Govaho normally likes the walls. So we have our, looking at layouts, from an overall kind of picture, we have our big sections. We have this top section which has a lot of defenses in it, and there's a lot of buildings. It's a great one to start at with our tanks, and that indeed is what he does. We talked this out over first. He was going to jump over this pusher, which was going to open up. It does open up 3 sections, but it doesn't open up 3 choices. What's going to happen is those Valks are going to funnel into the King-Queen pin, the King-Queen pen, and they're going to funnel into the Expo pen. And only after those are dead, they'll both move down to the Town Hall, which is perfect. So we're gutting those core sections, and then we have a choice after that. Do we go down to this core section, or do we go to one of these two with our second jump? So, but the idea being here, we have some core sections and we have some edge defenses. So, continuing to watch. He's got a nice wide funnel going here. He couldn't lure. You'll notice that lure is sitting there. Just really well laid out base. Lure was pretty much impossible to do without spending a lot of hogs on it because of all the point defenses around the edge. So he decided just to go in without the lure after we talked about it. Now, again, he led in with the Royals instead of the Velks. I would have led in with the Velks because you don't want the King tanking for the Velks, really. You have the Golems for that. You want the Valks tanking for the King because they're the ones you're focusing on the heals for anyway, and the King is actually part of your cleanup force. So now we have a Dragloon lure coming out. Probably should have already poisoned them, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. Definitely should have already poisoned him by now. He does drop a poison, but it's kind of late. So why do we care? We're going to watch all these Valks die, because what happens is 2 balloons over top of a bunch of Valks is like 870 damage on the drop out of their 1,300-ish hit points, which leaves them like 300 hit points left. And then if one of the balloons dies on top of the Valks, it's another 165, 168 damage. And we have point defenses shooting at them, Wizard Tower. They just all died. So when you're using a Govaho, you really need to make sure you get the lure done, if you possibly can. And if you can't, you need to figure out some kind of way to deal with it if it's loons. Loons and wizards and dragons are all pretty devastating to Govahos if you can't deal with them. Wow still manages to pull 81% and 2 stars out of the space, even with all of his Valks dead, which was pretty awesome. His tanks still kind of kept alive and tanking through the whole core. Hogs running around doing their job. His Archer Queen up here stalled out on the walls, but is going to get that Town Hall for 2. So thank you, WoW, for managing to get to at least yank 2 stars out of this base in a very close war. Means cleanup's a lot less necessary, but I tried anyway, because at the time we had pretty good chances here. So I'm going to see if I can find my attack on it. Because I'm going to do a separate war summary here. I want to focus on the Govaho right now. Okay, so mine went south too. Different reason. So I knew that there was Lava Loon in here. I tried the lure. If you do an aggressive 4 or 5 hog attempt on a defense, they'll usually punch through it and go to the next defense, which is kind of what tried to happen here. One hog, I sent one more hog in, that's right. The stupid hog went if the hog had cut left instead of right, he probably would have triggered that. It was really close, but he didn't. I lost 6 hounds, or 6 hogs, something like that, doing nothing, and I was kind of upset with myself, but I had to try. So, knowing that wasn't going to work, started the attack. Nice wide funnel, lots of wall breakers. Wanted to kind of open up both those sections and treat them as one big section. I also led in with my royals. I think I was put off by the lure not working, but my Valkyrie. Oh, that's right. I was trying to delay. That was I planned it out with WoW. We thought maybe if I delayed bringing the Valks, then I could avoid any kind of loon situation. So I did lead with my royals to tank because I wanted the Archer Queen killing the dragon and the loons. I got my poisons down. Double poisoning again. Probably not the best idea in light of recent information, but they do get the loons down. The Valks are still alive, and the dragon's going to die, but it does cost me my Barbarian King, for the most part, which is a pain because their Archer Queen's sitting there going to town on people. But they get her. The Valks all tore her apart. Anyhow, so my recorder says that I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. What stalled me was unfortunately the walls. I sent all my hogs in on the side. You can see them coming in now to take out those lower defenses. I did know the Tesla farm was there. I set up my jump for my Valks to come in and help with it. So I still have some forces here. At this point, I'm still kind of hopeful for 3. But you can see the Queen sitting there pounding on the wall, Golem pounding on the wall, and now the Valkyrie's pounding on the walls. And so what ends up happening is my force ends up getting separated because they're pounding on walls. So walls save stars. Here's a perfect example of it. So they're all sitting there pounding on walls, and eventually it's just too much. Those point defenses are just able to kill them while they're sitting there staring at walls. Just how it goes. So anyway, still a good base for it. Those strong walls did end up being a little bit of a problem, but that's just kind of how it goes. I hope this helped a little bit. And if it didn't, please let me know. And I'm going to do more videos, or I'm going to try to do more videos, as we get through all this. All right, guys. I'm out of time.